Today we're going to make some prints using our print plate that we created last time. Now when it is your turn to print, you will bring over your supplies. Make sure that you have your print plate and your print papers with your name and art code on the back. Now the first thing that you'll need to do is choose your brayer and choose your color of ink. And we need to use our brayer to roll out the printing ink. So that it's in a nice even layer. Make sure that when you roll, you're of course keeping the ink on your plexiglass mat. Next, we are going to take our printing plate and we are going to keep this plate on the paper so that we don't get our tables dirty. We are going to ink up our brayer and then we are going to roll the ink onto our printing plate. The goal is to make sure that the whole plate is covered evenly. There we go. I'm also trying really hard not to get too much ink on my fingers. Once you have your plate inked, we are going to take one of our papers and put it face down so that we see our name on the back, right on top of the print plate. They should be exactly the same size. Next, we are going to rub all over the back with our fingers. When we remove our paper, we'll have a copy of our blue willow vase, just like it looks on our print plate. If you need to ink up your plate again to do a second copy, you just go ahead, roll more on top. Choose your different paper. And do the same thing again. Printing is pretty cool because once you've created your print plate, you can make as many copies of your design as you want. Today we're going to be using a gel print plate to create our flower prints. Now before we start, please make sure that you put your name on the back of all of the papers that you're going to be printing on today, because you are going to have several and you don't want them to get lost. Now on a gel print plate, we are just going to be printing with regular tempera paint. And in order to create our flower shapes, I'm going to start today with some yellow paint. And I'm just going to make a few little dabs, a few little circle shapes, I guess, in the center of my print plate. That's going to be the center part of my flower. Now I'm going to take any color that I want my flower to be. We're kind of sticking with reds and whites and pinks for this project. And I'm going to create a circle around my yellow dots, but I'm going to use a dashed line to create my circle like this. Just some little dashes. Okay. Now I'm going to make a larger circle around this one. And I think I'm going to switch my color. I'm going to do some white this time. And this time I'm also making my dashes get a little bit bigger. So this way it looks like the petals in the center of my flower are kind of small and then they get bigger as they go out, just like they do in real life. And I'm just going to keep on going, creating larger and larger circles that go around the center of my flower. And sometimes when I start to get close to the edges, I do one little half circle. Like so. Now once you have your flower pretty much to the edge of your paper, or of your print plate, we're going to get our paper and we are going to put it face down onto the paint. Now, without scooching the paper around, we're gonna very gently rub our fingers over the back of the paper, and the paint is gonna transfer from the print plate onto the page. So that when I lift it, I end up with a very interesting flower shape. Now you can actually do another print immediately after you do your first one without adding any more paint. That's called a ghost print. And sometimes on your ghost print, you get fun little surprises. You don't quite know what shapes are gonna show up or what colors. It's kind of like a surprise. But sometimes you end up with some pretty cool stuff. So those two prints look pretty different. Now, after you've done a ghost print, it's probably time to load your print plate back up with some paint. So I'm just gonna go back, start with my yellow dots, add some more, and then I'm gonna add some more circles around the edge. There's still a little tiny bit of paint left from my first flower, but that's totally fine. Most of it is not gonna transfer to your print. And even if it does, it usually ends up looking good. It's okay if my circles kind of bump into each other. As we know, stuff in nature isn't perfect, so when you have little surprises or little mistakes that you make, they usually actually end up looking pretty good. There we go. I'm gonna take a new paper and create my print. I'm just gonna keep on going until I have created a large number of flower prints. And when I'm done with my prints, I'm going to leave them to dry. In order to clean your print plate at the very end of class, we're just gonna take a wet yellow towel and rub that paint right off. So you don't need to clean your print plate today until the very, very end. There we go. When the plate is clean, we're gonna take our prints and put them on our tray, like so. Kind of trying to lay them out so they don't overlap too much. And then this tray is gonna go right onto the drying rack.